A fire broke out at a trailer home in southwestern Jamestown last night. 35 firefighters responded to the call and battled for over an hour and a half to calm the inferno. Fire Lieutenant Sheldon Moore says one of the firefighters was slightly injured. However, Moore adds that no one else was hurt. JCTV news correspondent Johnny Jerome was on the scene and talked to individuals who lived near the now badly burned and damaged trailer home.
I just got called at work. I'm a neighbor to the trailer house here, and they told me the neighbor's trailer house was on fire, so I came up here, get my dogs out and my girlfriend out of there. She actually was sleeping and got my nephew, thank God, got called up here and got her up fast enough to get her out.
Yeah, he called and said that their house was on fire, so we came running over here.
Lieutenant Moore did not say how much damage the fire caused. He did say the trailer home was badly damaged and a car in the driveway was also damaged. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. 29-year-old Fort Totten man Lyndon Galen Graybear has been arrested after starting 2 apartment fires in Fargo on Sunday. He has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 1 count of endangering by fire or explosion. Apparently, Graybear had been babysitting his cousin's children, ages 4 and 6, when he assaulted them and started a fire in their bedroom. A neighbor reported the disturbance around 9:30 and police were able to put out the fire. Graybear also started another fire in an apartment a block away, but no one was injured. The children were taken to Essentia Health for treatment and their mother was arrested on an unrelated warrant. Graybear faces up to 20 years in prison for each charge of attempted murder if he is convicted. My Fight launched its 2nd annual coffee shop tour last night at the Jamestown College's NAFIS Student Center. The event featured a musical guest, video, and brief speeches from the founders about their work in Ethiopia. Jamestown College's junior character and leadership class organized the event. JCTV news correspondent Jessee Boyle caught up with the founder of My Fight, Jesse Murphy.
Can you briefly explain what it is that My Fight does?
Sure. At one level, it's super simple. We sell T-shirts to fund microloans in developing countries so that women like Sai in Ethiopia can start a small business, get out of the trap of poverty, and ensure that her children have a different future. She ends the system of poverty in her life when just a few people here in Jamestown, North Dakota buy T-shirts.
And how did My Fight get its start?
Well, it started a long way back when I was a freshman in high school, and I saw that what I saw was that human slavery still existed. I saw that in Sudan, you could buy a human being for $50, the price of a goat. And that rocked my world, shattered my life in it, and I really felt the call that my life was going to be spent doing something about that. And so it took a couple of twists and turns. At first I wanted to raise $1 million to buy and free 20,000 slaves. It seemed noble enough, and it seemed like people would jump on board. But what I realized was that if you just pay for people, if I just raised $1 million and bought 20,000 people, I'd become an investor in the very industry that I wanted to end. I'd be perpetuating the problem. And so I really realized that it's not enough to just have good intentions. We had to have a good solution. And so then seeing extreme poverty as the ultimate capsule of vulnerability, that being the situation where a mother is forced to sell their children as their best chance of survival, the situation in which little boys choose to become child soldiers to survive and little girls prostitute themselves to eat. And so it's in extreme poverty that the worst scenarios happen. So then we saw extreme poverty as the issue that we had to address. Microfinance is a really incredible tool to combat extreme poverty, not to serve the poor, but to end poverty. That's really our hope. We don't want to feed the hungry, we want to end hunger. And so out of Billings, Montana, we came up with this idea to take the most ubiquitous items of our generation, T-shirts and social media, put them together to end extreme poverty. So it's so simple. People anywhere in the world can go on our website, myfight.org, design a T-shirt. The ones that win, we print, and then we sell those to fund microloans. So then it has this question that we're all trying to ask: how much of my T-shirt purchase goes to fund the loan? Well, the ironic answer is more than 100%. And here's how. A $25 shirt, that goes out into a loan. 6 months later, it's repaid, and then another loan, it's repaid, another loan. In 3 years, that $25 has been a part of funding 6 loans. So it's turned into $150 worth of investment. And then it still comes back to My Fight to help us fund our trips to Jamestown from Billings, buy new shirts, pay our overhead. So we have this model that we've created that's fully self-sustaining, but first does good with more than 100% of the money that comes to us.
Well, that's incredible. Where do you expect that My Fight is going in the future?
Well, we're currently working in Honduras and Ethiopia. That's about to expand across the world using a new platform that we're just on the verge of launching. I hesitate to tell you the date because, the world of web is ever postponed. So we'll go around the world. But here's our dream. Our dream is to be a part of the day where we would open a museum of extreme poverty. We're the only place on this planet that somebody could experience what life is like in extreme poverty would be in this museum, where people would ask, what took so long? But I'd rather them ask that question than why is this still going? And so we want to be a part of that. And we think between here and there's going to be a lot of incredible advances in the community of economic development and poverty alleviation. But what we hope to do in about 5 years with this model that's self-sustaining and snowballing is to be on the cutting edge of that, where we get to say, wow, how do we get to be really innovative in the world of poverty eradication?
To learn more about My Fight, visit www.myfight.org. Zuccotti Park in Lower Manhattan has been cleared of protesters. Members of the Occupy movement camped out in the park for nearly 2 months. Police warned protesters that the park would be cleaned and those who did not leave would be arrested. Nearly 200 participants of the camp were arrested. The park's owner, Brookfield Properties, asked the city to help enforce the no sleeping or camping rules, and Mayor Michael Bloomberg defended his decision to clear the park by saying the protest prevented other people from enjoying the park, which is its actual purpose. Foreign pressure on the Syrian government is mounting as the 7-month uprising is becoming more violent. Last week, the Arab League voted to suspend Syria from membership as punishment for President Bashar al-Assad's repression of dissent. The King of Jordan even called upon Assad to demand he relinquish his power. And Turkey, who supplies power to Syria, has threatened to sever the power lines to show their disgust with his regime. The United Nations said more than 3,500 people have been killed in Syria since the uprising began back in March. With snow on the ground this morning and temperatures dropping, I don't need to tell you winter is approaching. Let's go to JCTV weather person Jessica Gulseth for more details on what to expect in the coming days.
Thanks, Carlotta. Brr. It's a cold one outside. The wind is blowing and the snow is falling lightly. It was a mitten, jacket, and scarf day for me. I hope you all stayed warm. This morning, we were hit with another dusting of snow. It was a preview of what's to come next. So far, there are a few clouds in the sky with a high around 34 and a chance of snow and rain for the rest of the day on into the evening. Then temperatures will drop and we'll see a low around 18 degrees. Wednesday will not be a warm day, only a few clouds in the sky, but it will barely reach 30 degrees. It will be a breezy and about 27 degrees for most of the day. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low around 14 degrees. Thursday will be a warm-up in comparison with a high of almost 40 degrees. Thursday night will be a little warmer as well with a high in the mid-20s. Friday will be a repeat of Thursday, and Saturday we will more than likely be seeing some snow again. I hope you're preparing yourself, Jamestown. We're well overdue for this weather, and remember to keep warm. That's the weather for today. Definitely want to make sure to stay warm, Carlotta.
I'll be sure to bundle up, and thank you, Jessica. 6 Jimmie football players, Lance Johansson, Max Bowe, Scott Thingstead, Drew Byer, AJ Downs, and Robert Nelson were named to the 2011 All-Dakota Athletic Conference football team yesterday. Tonight, the men's basketball team is facing Northern State University at Northern State, and the women's basketball team is facing St. Cloud State here in Jamestown. Thank you for joining us tonight, Jamestown. I'm Carlotta Rasmussen. Tune in again tomorrow as we will once again connect the campus with the community.